I'm real happy with the way the schedule came out, Joey. It's a lot goes into it. You have to take into consideration other events that go on at the Coliseum during the season. The goal is to get as many weekend dates as possible, many Friday and Saturday nights as possible, but that's what the goal is for every team in our league, and so that's a little more difficult to accomplish. But at the end of the day, I think having 14 Saturday games, 10 Friday games, 5 Sunday games, and 7 Tuesday games, it's a pretty good schedule. I'm really, really happy, and hopefully we can take advantage of those optimal nights for sure on the weekends. I know that one of the Tuesday games is actually going to be New Year's Eve, and that's usually a good game. So I'm really pleased with the schedule and looking at it. Would I like to play different teams? For sure, but at the end of the day, it's something that we can work with and we're happy with.
Last time we caught up, you mentioned odd amount of teams this year because Trenton is no longer with us for this upcoming season. Also, other teams have to work with their building, so you had to deal with other schedule changes in that regard. So it's great how it all worked out. You mentioned all the weekend dates and the New Year's date as well, as far as being favorable to our fans. But how difficult was it to put all this together in such a short amount of time?
Well, it's a process that starts all the way back in January. Most teams are in communication with their arena because concerts and other events are booked 6 months, some of them a year out. So I'll submit some dates to Mr. Holscher at the Coliseum, and he'll come back and say, Rob, this weekend's taken for this event, this is no-go, this is a good, and then you resubmit the dates to the gentleman who does the schedule, and then it's a lot of going back and forth. And at the end of the day, like I said earlier, all teams are fighting for those Saturday dates, and then they're fighting for the Friday dates. So having 14 Saturday dates this year, it's really, really going to help us for sure.
And another change that some fans have noticed and made comments on through social media is just how spread out this schedule is. We start a weekend a little bit later in October, but then we go into April, which is something we haven't done in quite some time. Why the change to make the schedule a little longer?
I think there was 2 reasons. One, to give teams an opportunity to have another weekend date, and the other reason was to have it more in line with the AHL. Most fans may not know, but the AHL season continued on for 3 weeks after ours did this past year. So that was the main 2 reasons with that. Try to give teams an opportunity to create more revenue, obviously, on those weekend dates, and to be more aligned with what the AHL is doing.
And it also seems like the schedule favors the Stingrays, and it might favor other teams as well, just on how spread out it is, because you're not home for too long of a time, but you're not on the road for too long of a time. So it helps and keeps things in balance versus being gone for 2-3 weeks, then you're home for a month and a half.
Yeah, I mean, it's having one game in October, standing alone at home, is good. I think we play the night before in Greenville. The weekend before that, we're in Reading. So there's 2 games on the road. Come home, just go a quick trip to Greenville. Come home, play opening weekend, October 26th. Probably have an alumni game again that day. November obviously turns into a busy month. We're playing 14 games in 30 days. And then, as like you said, I think December, I don't have it in front of me, but we're playing like Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's kind of like you said, it's spaced out for sure. You're not on the road for too long a period of time, and you're not on the road for too short a period of time. So it's Spencer and I are really, really happy. When you're doing the schedule, you're looking at it from 2 different aspects. Best dates at home, but you also got to take into consideration the guys in a competitive standpoint. You don't want to be playing at home on a Friday and Saturday and then having to go to Orlando on a Sunday afternoon. Those things have to come into consideration. So at the end of the day, I think it's a great schedule, and hopefully we can capitalize on it in all regards, from a hockey standpoint and from an attendance standpoint.
And certainly big news coming out that the schedule is out now. Turning our attention to next week, we have the annual meetings in Las Vegas to meet with all the teams and get some ideas for the upcoming year. And then the following week, and pretty much for the next month or so, it's going to be up to us to really hammer out some great promotional nights and some nights that will get fans in the building as well. What can we look forward to, or what are some of the things that we can expect for the upcoming year?
Well, like you said, we're working hard in here. We've trying to see what other teams in our league do and see what works and see what doesn't work. It's always good to go to Vegas to sit down with other teams and see some events or nights that worked in their market and try to bring them over to ours. We talk about it every year. We have those core nights, which are, are unbelievable. Opening night, Pink in the Rink, Pack the House, Fan Appreciation Night, Hall of Fame Night, Teddy Bear Toss, Toys for Tots, Epilepsy Awareness this year. So we do have some dates already secured. But in the next couple weeks, probably in the next month, we're going to hammer out some other fun nights, other theme nights, other ideas, giveaways, things that we ultimately think that are going to enhance the fan experience at our games and make people have a great time at Stingrays hockey, hopefully go home with something. Last year I think the Snuggie was a huge hit. So we're trying to think of maybe a creative and a fun idea for a bobblehead doll this year that I don't want to get into too many details about it, but it is something we're currently working on, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that will pan out. And then obviously trying to insert the Superstar somewhere down the line, Cameron Hughes, super fan, and then looking into what other teams do in their market to see if there's something that we're missing. We did get approval for the Clemson jersey, so we'll be doing the Clemson jersey this year. We'll have the blue and white jerseys this year. We won't be wearing the red jerseys at all. We'll be doing the military appreciation jersey, Pink in the Rink. So I think that we'll be ready this year. We have some great stuff planned. I think with the experience that we have here in the office now, the past couple of years, everyone's more familiar and comfortable with their jobs, their positions, and what it is to, enhance the Stingrays hockey experience. Spencer's working really hard on signing players. We'll see some familiar faces back next year as well, which will hopefully help as well. So it's an exciting time. It's funny to think that July 1st is right around the corner. It's going to be our 21st season. New chillers going in at the Coliseum. There's a lot of fun stuff going on. Hopefully the rink will be colder than it is this past year.